to welcome today's guest, Greta Rose Zagarino of the Greta Rose Agency. Welcome, Greta.
Thank you so much. I am thrilled to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. And thank you so much for reaching out and connecting. I just feel like soul sisters from coast to coast over here. And our first conversation, we were talking about Beyoncé. We were talking about our childhoods. We were going deep, and it was awesome.
I think, didn't we have that moment with the lost dog on the street and rescuing this animal, and I was like crying and just saying hello to you? I mean, we just dove right in.
No hesitation. And that just shows you that we are like making it happen. We were just talking about how women are taking over the world and just totally changing the game and allowing ourselves to truly show up. And this is the crux of what both of us do, is really show up in our businesses and our brands as our true selves, as our authentic hearts, and allowing other women, other entrepreneurs, men as well, to do the same by giving themselves permission to be who they truly are in their brands and businesses. So yeah, and your tagline is, we make websites you love. And I think it's so simple and so spot on, because that's the point. So tell me a little bit about your business and what it is that you do, and just what is setting your heart on fire right now.
Well, I started this particular agency. I'm going into my third year. Before that, I was in the world of nonprofit and doing the same thing, but for nonprofits, I kind of thought I'd save the world. And so I actually grew really cynical because I wasn't saving the world, Amber. There were still cases of cancer, and people were still feeling pain. And so I got a little burnout, and I thought, I just need to try just for a little bit to be in the for-profit industry. I just want to work with people doing what I love. And I started very small. What I found immediately was that I was so much more fulfilled working one-on-one with a small business, and the results were so tangible. I was helping them, and I saw the light go on, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I feel more fulfilled, like I'm doing more service and good now than I ever did in the world of nonprofit. And I still love nonprofit. It has its place, but I feel like I'm doing better. So then I was building these very expensive websites for clients. They were investing what they thought was a lot of money into this project, and I'd hand them over the key so that they could manage their own websites, and they would look at me like a deer in the headlights. They would look at me with fear in their eyes. Wait a second, I have a website. Now what? And I started feeling again that sort of sense of like, okay, I'm not doing enough. I could be of more service here. And I started realizing that there's this huge gap between when you have a website and then when you actually use that website to grow your business as a tool. And so, Marie Forleo's B School really helped me define what that was that I could do, which was create this book. And now that is my mission. I still love and do build websites and my whole agency is still intact, but now I'm just wanting to talk to as many small businesses as possible to help fill that gap.
And so your book is called How to Manage Your Own Website, and it's available over on Amazon as we speak, right?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes. It's an ebook, so you want to use it on whatever device you like. You can use your phone, Kindle, Nook.
Is it platform based? So are you teaching specifically around WordPress in there? Tell us a little bit about what's in this book.
It does actually, it is targeted towards self-managed platforms. So WordPress, Shopify, any kind of a website system that you have access to the admin. So the idea is that you want to be able to control your content, to be able to add and edit content freely to your website. But it's so much more than that, because that's just one part of it. So there are these 3 circles, and I have this like fun little diagram that I can send to you so you can like pop it up or whatever.
Yeah, throw it on the interview page.
Yeah, so there's your website. That's one circle. Then there's social media, which is another circle. And then there's Google, which is another circle. Now, where those three circles intersect, you want to actually operate your online presence from that intersection. You don't want to ever ignore one of those other two circles. Your website cannot exist without social media, which represents engaging. It's your customer service. It's engaging with your audience. At the same time, Google, which represents all search engines, I just call it Google. So any search engine that you should be a part of, that is the phone book. It is literally replaced the phone book. So people now that's how they find things. They have a question, they go to a search engine, they type in a few words, and then they're usually selecting those first few answers. Right. So we need to have a relationship with that search engine so that it can find you. So my book is putting all of those three circles into a context and giving you a sense of calm navigation to the online frontier, really clear, basic answers, lots of exercises, so that you feel like you have confidence and authority to manage your website.
Yeah, and it's something that I talk a lot about with my clients too. It's just that you want to be able to drive your own business. And these tools, specifically for most of us here and most that are watching on this Periscope right now, are online entrepreneurs. And so, you can't be an entrepreneur. We were talking about this before, being a brick and mortar business and being an online only business, sort of one and the same in a lot of ways when it comes to your web presence, right? It
really is. It is there. This helped me actually sort of have the light go on when I was able to draw this analogy. There is literally no difference for managing a brick and mortar store than managing an online website. The way that you approach a brick and mortar store is the exact same as you want to manage your online presence. In fact, if you think of it, it's just an online brick and mortar store.
Right.
You have a website. It is your brand. It is literally just this virtual brick and mortar. So there are a couple of things that you would always have in your brick and mortar store. It's going to be clean, right? You're not going to have dusty cobwebs and nastiness. You're going to actually clean it. It's going to have a pleasant front entrance, right? So you'll walk in and hopefully it'll be pleasing to you.
Curb appeal. Yep.
You're going to have some displays up front showing off your best items.
Right.
So you want to maybe have the mannequin with a favorite outfit, suggesting, this is how you can use my product in a really cool way. You're going to be met with an awesome manager, someone who speaks your voice, maybe isn't you, but definitely represents you and is super friendly, but not annoying, right? Just let us know if we can help you. If you're looking for anything particular, let me know.
Right.
Maybe there are flowers. Maybe there's a little, hot cider and cookie. So maybe you're offering a little gift or a little friendly extra treat.
Little welcome. Yep.
And then how they navigate through the store, you've thought through. You're going to think about how they're going to get to the back. Where are the dressing rooms? Where's all of the clutter and the extra shoe boxes and all that stuff? You're going to hide it. And then as they exit your store, and if they purchase something, that's super easy and friendly.
Right.
And then as they exit, you're going to give them a friendly wave off, thank you so much, come again.
Yeah.
That is how you apply your website.
Right. Right.
And the only difference is the tool. It's just learning a little bit of technology to apply what you already know.
I love it. So that's a beautiful visual example and makes it easier. I think it's really tangible. So thank you for illustrating that. So what do you say to the newer entrepreneur who has, let's say she has her Squarespace website. She's figured out how to run that content management system. She feels really good about it. She's doing it, but she's just not sure. What do you say to her besides buy How to Manage Your Website, Your Own Website book by Greta? Besides that, where should she begin? What are some of the main points that she should focus on in terms of laying out that user experience?
Love that question. And you look beautiful, by the way. Let me just tell you, I'm
Thank you.
What did you say? I'm looking at how pretty you are. Okay, so number one is, why do you need a website? Absolutely first question, and we were saying this to your pre-Periscope folks as well, making sure that you know what that, and I call it your desired transaction, but I feel like this is the number one thing. If you know this, everything else falls into place. So why do you need a website? What achievement will that website give to you to grow your business? If it's just to contact you, awesome. If it is to schedule an appointment with you, great. If it's to purchase something, great. If it's just to show off a portfolio so that they will contact you, perfect. Once you define that transaction, then you want to like write that really big. I am here so that you can see I use whiteboards and sticky notes. I like to have things out in front of me and see what my goals are, keeps me on track. I want that desired transaction like a big bell that's going to ring for me and be my beacon every day.
I love that.
And then I design everything else around it. So your first desired transaction, it should be really apparent to me when I come to your website what you want me to do.
Right. Okay. Good step. That's a great place to kind of check in and think about. And I think we're getting some hearts for that. So, so thank you for sharing. I know this Periscope is in a very weird place, but this is a cool way to do this, right? Because we're multi-platforming, sharing, connecting, real time, all that. I think the next piece that is coming up for me as I'm listening to you talk is just a little feeling of overwhelm around, like when you say the word Google, when you say, integrating all the social media and all of that. And I'm it's hard for me to manage, and I know how to do a lot of these things. So for the folks that are new, especially around the Google piece, like how do you break and how do you chunk that down to focus on what's most important within those three circles?
Oh gosh. So
big question.
Well, it's such a great question because it's the overwhelm. You know how, again, I'm like giving huge props to Marie's B School because you know how you just fall in love with your desired customer?
Right.
It breaks my heart. Like the overwhelm is the feeling that I want to just explode. I want to give everyone a tool so that they can like not feel overwhelmed. And if there's any kind of serenity and calm I can bring, it is truly why I'm doing this.
Yeah. So
it is overwhelming. And one thing that helps me to know is that every single person in technology is scrambling to keep up.
Right.
There is I don't care how geeky and calm and whatever they appear, they are scrambling to keep up because it moves so quickly.
Right.
So knowing that, I let myself off the hook a little bit. I'm never going to master every single thing. And if I do, by the time I do, it'll be like obsolete anyway.
Yes.
So what I say is that there is a method, and I like to create an assembly line with my business, just in every area, but specifically with my managing my website. This assembly line helps me organize, and I don't have to worry about the end of the assembly line when I'm focused on the beginning.
Right.
So I've broken it into 5 steps. They're in order. You can't miss a step. If I start at 1, I just know I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to 1. And it helps me, it immediately centers me. So I'm going to tell you what they are, if that's cool.
Juicy, get out your notebooks.
I know. This is the good stuff. I almost want to rewrite my book and just like focus just on this. So first one is create, and I'll say what they all are and then I'll go back quickly and define them. So number 1 is create. Number 2 is upload. Number 3 is optimize. Number 4 is share. Number 5 is analyze. Now I'm saying those words, which do kind of trigger a little bit of overwhelm, only because I want you to remember that the optimize is your SEO, the analyze is your Google, like just so that you can kind of compartmentalize, like, oh, okay, that's where that lives.
It already does that. That thing does that for me, right?
Exactly. This step is going to accomplish that goal, and it will take that whizzing, thing that's causing me overwhelm. That's where it lives.
Yes.
So step 1 is create. That's the fun part. And I think that's the part where people kind of like forget.
Yeah.
That's your heart. That's your soul. That's like, like, don't even worry about technology or anything else around your website. Just remember who you are and why you're doing this and what you want to say, and like get into that authentic heart.
Well, I think I'll pause you because I think the most beautiful illustration of that is exactly what we spoke about on our first chat with Beyoncé and her performance of I Was Here. And what was the event that she was at for that? It was an international, it was a significant international event.
Human, oh my gosh,
right,
isn't that funny?
Yeah. Big
Something
event.
really good.
The link it'll be down here, you guys. But so she had this vision, right? I can almost hear her explaining it to people. You know, I want an omni theater screen behind me, right? Like the giant screen that is going to basically just be this huge band shell behind me, capturing, you know, the stars, the universe, people, emotion, human feeling, animals, life, the world, right? They're just life happening in this beautiful, just epic way. And here she is standing just so poised and elegant and gorgeous in the middle of the stage with her amazing voice and delivery in the white dress. And that just, it was just breathtaking. I mean, there's no chance you can watch that and not be completely moved to tears if you're a crier like you and me.
Exactly. And you can't, like, you know, left brain, right brain. You can't be thinking about the logistics when you're like just going to that place of what's possible. You need to just go and sit by the stream and, you know, do whatever you have to do to just clear your mind and like be as big as possible. Dream big. Don't let
vision. Yeah. Right. So I can only imagine what that conversation was like in that room when she was like, well, see, this is what we're going to do. It's going to look like this, and I'm going to be here, and there's going to be all this in the universe and the children and like people probably, the tech people probably like, okay, Beyonce, whatever you say, right? You're Mrs. Carter, you know, Sasha Fierce, you got it. But I love that. So that's a beautiful example of just create from the space of creation, not worrying about all the next steps. I'll let you keep going with your steps.
I love that. Yeah. So then you move to the second step, which is, I call it upload, because that's where you're going to determine the online place that creativity should go. So that's, maybe it's a blog post, maybe it's a page on your site, maybe it's just a social post, maybe it's a Periscope thing. You need to determine where should this piece of creative joy live. And that is the one technical step of taking the time. We're all brilliant people here, so it's just taking the time, being humble to ask very basic questions. And yes, I do provide a whole bit about this, but learning the technology enough so that you can add that content onto your website. If you can't, then you're giving your power away. Right. And so you'd never let, back to the brick and mortar analogy, you would never let some stranger run your brick and mortar for you.
Right.
You would never have some new cash register POS system put into place to handle your money without you getting trained on how to operate it. Even if you delegate that to your store manager, you're taking the time to learn it. And so I give some tough love here and I say, take the time, take as long as you need, but do not delegate this without knowing it yourself.
Right.
How to add content to your website. And then it's just a matter, once you know it, you know it. Right. It's like riding a bike. You just have to, you know, keep doing it.
It gets easier. It takes time, but it gets easier. Just like doing Periscope. It's the first one was really awkward, and then I wouldn't do it for like a month because I was all, you know, people were saying inappropriate comments, and then I was like, oh, I can't do this. I don't know how to block them, and I was just scared, and I just shut it off. But now my experience is completely different, and I do it every day now, and it's really easy and it's really fun. And
isn't it empowering when you do actually master some new technology? Where it just gives you freedom to express your creativity.
Right. It's a new medium for which I can share my message. It's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. So upload is a crucial step, and you don't get out of it. You have to actually do it yourself.
Right.
Then the next step is optimizing. And this is the world of SEO. So that word, search engine optimization, usually sends people running.
Yeah, I'm like, la, 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 la.
I know. But here's the beauty of it. It's actually like that card game that you play with little kids, the matching game.
Right.
Remember where you have like two cards and they have pictures of cherries and you you mix them with other pictures of fruit, and you mix them all up and you turn them upside down.
Right. Memory. Yes.
Memory. That's it. So a person goes over to Google and they pick up one card and it has cherries. And they go to Google and they say, okay, Google, find me the other card that has cherries on it. And Google does what's called crawling and fetching, and they go across the land and they find all the matching cards with cherries, and they say, oh, here are some cards with cherries. And so then, and we'll talk about the order, the ranking that's presented in a second, but really we're just talking about matching. So our job as business owners, knowing that our amazing desired customers will be looking, we know they're going to show up with a card with cherries. We have to do our part to put as many cherries on our website so that we can be like, hey, we've got cherries, we've got cherries.
Right, right.
So optimization is literally just what we do on our site to place as many matching words and phrases as we think that our desired customer is going to request, just so that we're ready. That's it. So what we do, first we've created, then we've uploaded, then that's when we're going to take a moment to look at what we just uploaded and put in some keywords just so that we're ready for Google.
Right.
It's a little preparation. So that's done.
Right.
We move on to the next one.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I just need a sip of water after that SEO stuff.
I know. Take a break, up and down. So then the next step is sharing. And you really notice that there's an order here.
Right.
Once you are now you're sharing powerful shit.
Right.
Now you're sharing your heart, your soul.
Yeah.
Lives in the right place.
This is the fun part. This is fun. I like this part.
Sharing, well, some people are super intimidated by it.
This is true.
They don't know what to say. They don't know where to say it. So sharing is putting yourself out there, jumping off the cliff, like saying, here I am. Right. And then, and not, again, you're just in this one section. So just share, just risk it, get it out there.
You have nothing to lose. You literally have nothing to lose putting out, especially when what you're doing is really aligned with who you are and what your soul wants you to do. Exactly. If you're going to put that out there, then what do you have to lose? Really, truly, that's what we're all trying to work towards anyways, to live in our most authentic space. So I love that. Share.
I think sharing brings up like what it used to in high school, where you're afraid that no one will like you or be interested in what you're saying, or, it brings up that insecurity, like, oh, what do I have to say? Who's going to care about it? And I just say, like, that's just voices in your head. That's just ignore it and do it anyway. Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah. I'm excited to say that some of the folks here, I've seen them post their first Periscopes within the last few days too. And so I'm really proud of them for doing that, because I know that that's really hard because it's in real time and you're live and it can be really awkward. But you're just allowing yourself to really just show up as you are right here and right now, not without the editing, without the, start, like my friend Tori was over earlier, we were talking about starting and stopping it a million times and not, you're like, no, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. And then how many times and when are you actually you? So I love it. In the platform of Zoom meeting right here is what I'm using for our interview. And then also Periscope are two really powerful platforms.
Yeah. And I think what's key about sharing is that there's giving and taking. A big part of sharing is also participating in existing conversations, jumping in and making comments and liking other people's stuff. Mm-hmm. So you can't just share and hope that you'll get 1 million fans if you are not also engaging in what they're doing as well. So that's what we were talking about, how entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs, have this amazing way of supporting and lifting each other up,
right?
Making each other bigger. So that's an equal part of sharing, is that you're going to share your stuff and then you're going to go out and really join other conversations, right? So that you're growing. That's the party, right? Like that's where you want to actually grow the party and have fun with it. And then the very final step is analysis, analyze.
Right.
That is such a crucial part. And again, people run for the hills. They don't like it.
Right. Right.
It's stats, right? Like, who likes that statistics course that you were forced to take in school?
Right.
Stats is truly accountability at its very finest. If you don't look at insights and glean information, then you're driving blind. You have no idea. You're just shooting stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Right.
So the insights that you can glean, did people respond to you? Are you getting Periscope followers? Are people shooting off hearts? Mm-hmm. Are they engaging with you? Are your fans good fans or are they dead fans?
Right.
Do people, what is happening?
Which is actually the other powerful part of unsubscribes in a lot of ways too, because you're actually kind of like paring down your list to the people that are really going to resonate with your message and eventually convert to becoming a customer too. So it's a nice way to kind of really truly look at unsubscribes, and it is it's an analytic, and it's a powerful thing. And I know the times when I've sent out some of my most passionate emails and I had unsubscribes afterwards, I actually didn't feel sad or crushed at all. I felt actually kind of excited because I knew that, okay, the people that are really connecting with this message are staying, and the ones that just, it's not their thing, then they're moving on to a different pasture, and that's totally okay. Because I know that there's no possible way I could write that any differently. And so that is very empowering.
I'm so glad you said that, because actually that's so right on. Analytics is not good and bad. There's no grade, there's no A+. Every insight that you glean is good information. It's like just driving instructions.
Right.
It really tells you what's working and what's not working.
Right.
It's not, if you know something isn't working, don't do it again. Change it, adjust it, or
right.
What is working.
I love it.
I did a Facebook ad that was very successful, and then I did a different ad to that same group of people, and I got nothing. And I was like,
zero.
Zero.
Well, at least it didn't cost you any money.
It did not cost me money. And I was like, huh.
Okay then, right, good to know. So now I focus back on what that means in the grand scheme of my advertising plan, right?
Exactly. So based on your insights, that takes you all the way back to one.
Right.
And it informs how you're going to create.
Right.
Remembering what your desired transaction is, you know that your objective here is to do X, to get people to contact you, to get sales, whatever that specific desired transaction is. Mm-hmm. If you have more than one, choose your priority, number one. Now, based on my insights, I create maybe a little adjusted. Now I'm going to upload, maybe make a little adjustment. Now I'm going to optimize, maybe make a little adjustment. Then
right. So I want to break this down just into real, live, and in color. So let's say that a coach or, a person who runs programs, group programs, whatever, the goal is to grow the list, right? It's to book discovery sessions, to get signups for programs, to grow the list. But as we all know, you're not going to necessarily convert cold. You're going to, you really want to get them on that list, right? I mean, that's the goal. So the way you position that homepage, the way you position the entry into the store, the virtual store of your, right, if you use this brick and mortar example, is how are you kind of putting it right in front of them and giving the opportunity to sign up with your list, right? So you want to share maybe some examples or some thoughts around that?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you're saying the desired transaction is to have a person submit their email.
Yes. Yes.
That's what we want. So
correct.
We want to collect an email address. So yeah, I'm going to design my homepage so that even more than anything else, even if I'm offering products or whatever, if my primary desired transaction, I'm going to make the shiniest thing on that homepage be my email collection. So hopefully the words, now I'm going to probably want to offer a reason that they're going to give me their email that's going to be really enticing. Maybe even a little, to me, I think opt-ins need to hurt just a little bit. I think you need to give big.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, when people say like, ooh, for tips and highlights, give me your email. I'm not going to put another thing in my inbox. I want something good.
Something that, like I know with different, a jewelry store or something that I would go in and it says 15% off your first order. You better believe I'm going to sign up for that. You better believe it.
Example.
Yeah. Right. So how can you do that? So think about that for the viewers in your business. What is high value to you? So for you, Greta, it's potentially write a chapter of the book, or, what is happening right now?
For an opt-in, for me, if my primary objective was to collect emails, I would consider maybe doing like a Facebook fan page makeover, like make their fan page amazing and branded to their business.
Yep.
Or do a private 2-hour session. Although that's a big one, because if I get a whole bunch of emails, that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. Yeah. And and the goal is volume. So it's taking something off of that. So maybe it's a section in one of your programs, the paid programs, like a piece or part of a module or something that's high value.
Yeah. And I do actually have an opt-in where I give away my free playbook that goes with the book. And so that playbook is super high value. It has 8 fully fleshed out exercises. It's like a book in its own. If you actually just got the playbook and nothing else, you would skyrocket your business. And so
what's the URL for that? Is it an easy one?
To manageyourownwebsite.com.
Okay.
That's the book.
Great. So I'll share that in the notes of the interview as well. So that's right down there. But manageyourownwebsite.com.
Yeah. Manageyourownwebsite.com. And when you go there, I'm not much for pop-up windows, but I use it here and it really is the most effective thing. So pop-up window will come right up and it says, for 8 amazing exercises, get the free playbook and put in your email. So applying that to the process, number one, I'm being creative. I'm just thinking, what juicy, amazing thing can I give from my heart and my soul that my desired customers would love?
Right.
I'm going to create that thing. So for me, I designed my playbook. Then number 2, I'm going to upload it onto my website. So I'm going to determine my actual opt-in tool. MailChimp is my favorite tool. A lot of commerce sites offer their own, which are great. That's cool. But if you don't have one already built in, MailChimp.com.
Yep. 100%. I refer my clients to that too.
Yeah. And if you just go to MailChimp.com and look in the top menu, click on support and then video tutorials, they've got the best support.
Right.
They'll walk you through how to do it.
Right.
So that's uploading. And when you actually, MailChimp, you can take that tool and you can upload it to your Facebook fan page. You can put it into your website. You can put it anywhere. You can share it as a link. So now you're uploaded. Number 3, optimize. So I'm going to look at my playbook and I'm going to stick in a few words: manage, website, SEO. I'm thinking words that people are going to Google where I want them to find me.
Right.
Then I'm going to share. I'm actually going to put the word out there. I'm going to do posts, maybe a blog post just about my playbook.
Right.
And then I'm going to look at my insights, my analysis. I'll look at Google Analytics. I'll go to MailChimp and see, are people actually signing up?
Right.
Are people getting the playbook?
Right. Right.
And if they're not, I'm going to change it until they are.
Right.
If they are, I will be very happy.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Perfect. Personal high five. Cool. Woo! So this has been really, really helpful. I guess the next thing would be, I'm sure folks have been looking at your website while we've been chatting. Greta Rose. It's GretaRose.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. And looking at your beautiful work. And I know you still are taking on website and branding clients, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the best way is to just go over there, reach out through, you can book an appointment on there and connect with you and have a conversation about, and I would also imagine you want to just, if people are interested and maybe they're like not sure where they need to go next, you might be able to help direct them on their journey, what might be the next step.
Absolutely. Right now, I'm just putting myself out there. I want myself to just be a resource. So I'm answering questions. I have a Facebook group. It's the Greta Rose Book Club, where you can actually, I think that's where I'm going to put my customer service. Like if you have questions about this stuff, join the group.
Great.
I will answer them.
We'll put the link in there as well.
Yeah. And mostly I just, I really believe in people. I believe that, you can do this. If you have a business, you've already done the hard part. Right. This is just another tool. It's like learning how to go from tape decks to CD players.
Yeah. I love that analogy. Yeah. And it doesn't need to paralyze you or stop you on your journey. It's just a new skill set that you can work on acquiring over time. It's not like you have to know all of it tomorrow. It's a process, and it's gonna continue to change. So just stay nimble.
Yeah, definitely take it in little bite-sized pieces. Be very loving and gentle to yourself. And I think a lot of times, if it becomes too overwhelming, I say go back to the very beginning. And like I said, whiteboards and sticky notes are your friends. Like, right. Just get all caveman on it and just do some nice planning.
Mind mapping, right? Yeah. Yes, lots of lists and priorities, and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So this was awesome. So much value, Greta. Thank you for your time and for being here with us today. I'm just so grateful. And I can't wait to watch this back because there's a lot here to really download.
Cool. Well, I adore you. I just think that you are absolutely amazing, and you are offering such a huge, huge resource to entrepreneurs everywhere. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for that, and I'll give you a little heart for that. So thank you as always. Yeah, a little heart-shaped rock. Love it. This is my thing. This is a fake one. I need to get a real one in here. I've got them all over the house, but not in this room for some reason.
Well, hold on. Okay. Great. I have mine.
Oh, beautiful. Yay. Love it. I love it. All right. Greta Rose of Greta Rose Agency. Thank you so much. Lots of love.